The world has become confident. India will build a new factory. Signs appearing. China's reputation is being warned. The debate has intensified over whether India can strip China of the tag of factory of the world. That is why the eyes of the world are on the Indian economy. China has been the main driver of global growth for nearly 3 decades. It has contributed more than a quarter to the global gross domestic product expansion between 1990 and 2020. In the period 2013 to 2021, China contributed about 39% to global GDP growth. If compared with all countries included in Hush Name 7, then it is 13% higher. To emulate China, India needs to sustain a near double-digit growth rate for nearly 3 decades. In addition, it will need to integrate global manufacturing supply chains, turn it into an export powerhouse and attract huge foreign investment. It's a tough job though. But India itself today is a turning point where China stood 40 years ago. What did China benefit from? China's rise was the result of major political and economic factors shaping the world in the 1970s. The geopolitics of the time prompted the US-led West to open up to China in 1971. At that time, the US-Soviet rivalry was deepening. There was a distance between Sino-Soviet. All this created a favorable environment for China, because reforms were introduced in the late 1970s. Due to the increasing strategic competition with China towards India today, a similar inclination towards India exists in the West today. Beijing's growing diplomatic and economic power led to aggression in its foreign policy. This made the West realize that its overdependence on China was worrisome. The US and its allies have been forced to re-evaluate their partnership with China and explore options to reduce risks, which is why India is emerging as a preferred partner. Another factor that worked in China's favor in the past was that the aforementioned geopolitical shift coincided with the time when global businesses, in search of greater competition, were actively looking for offshore destinations in Asia to reduce their rising operational costs. Incidentally, after the Sino-US rapprochement in the 1970s, China's market, endowed with a vast pool of cheap labor, became an attractive alternative. India a reliable option. Once again, a similar reorganization is underway. The deepening Sino-US rivalry has forced Washington to impose unilateral and multilateral export bans on Chinese companies to restrict their access to key tech goods. China has also implemented strict regulatory compliance requirements for foreign companies such as tit-for-tat measures. Regulatory challenges implemented by Washington and Beijing forced by the double whammy of the US, foreign companies operating in China are looking to redirect their new investments away from China, hence India emerged as a credible option. The government also wants to take advantage of the opportunity. It seems that India, the government, also wants to make the most of the benefits of the de-risking strategy, as evidenced by its keen interest in supporting high-profile projects related to the manufacture of the iPhone and assembly of semiconductors. Ultimately, China benefited from a growing consumer base that none of its Asian competitors had, which gave him a special edge. Its consumer market became increasingly important in influencing business decisions over the following decades. Over time, the loss of rising labor wages in China was offset by the skill competitiveness of its labor and a growing consumer base. India also has similar advantages today. It currently has the world's second-largest consumer base of over 500 million, which is defined as people spending more than $12 a day. China is present in the first place on the basis of a consumer base of 90 crores. Estimates suggest that by 2030, India's consumer base will increase to 730 million, behind China's nearly 100 crore. From here the distance between China and India will be reduced. What is PM Modi's Developed India 2047 mission? How will the dream be fulfilled? The complete plan told from the Red Fort. Developed countries are those where people have more income. Technologically, development is clearly visible. People's standard of living is better. Unemployment and poverty rates are low. The country's GDP level is high. America, Britain, Japan, Germany are examples of developed countries. In the category of developing countries, those countries come where the per capita income of people is low. Unemployment level. He said, the government is working to make the youth of the country equipped with skills. Now the emphasis will be on making India the skill capital of the world. This skill will be used to make the country a global manufacturing hub. Jobs will increase. The impact of the government's PLI scheme can be seen. The impact of Make in India is visible. India is making history in mobile manufacturing. As a result, the number of jobs will increase here. It will have a direct and positive impact on the country's economy. Investment in the green energy sector. In his address on Thursday, the PM said, there is a need to become self-sufficient in the matter of green energy. To achieve the target of 500 gigawatts of solar power, he talked about working on a green hydrogen mission. It is an effort to combat climate change. This will increase green jobs and solve the problem of unemployment. Focus on innovation. PM Modi said, every sector has to focus on innovation and growth. New opportunities have to be created. The mindset has to change. On this basis, we have succeeded in doubling per capita income. Foreign exchange reserves have increased. By 2075, it has the potential to become the second largest economy in the world. Freedom from poverty and slavery. He said, by 2047, India will be made a developed country. It will be like giving new freedom to the country. This will be freedom from the mentality of poverty and slavery.